Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I am continuing my conversation with John Dayton, and we're going to be talking about the Waltons and other aspects of Hollywood and projects he's worked on, and who knows what else. Welcome back, John. There was this other question that Holly had about when we were shooting something like the Battle of Drusilla's Pond with the explosions and things like that, and things blowing up, how they did things like that to make sure that everybody was safe, and yet, like any kind of war stuff where you've got explosions going on. And
yeah, it was compressed air, and you remember that stuff, that awful dust that we have to spray the cars with.
So they wouldn't reflect and show the lights in the camera?
No, to make them dirty. To make them dirty. And okay, I can't remember the name. And it's the same stuff. It's very light. It's the same stuff that they would put in cans and put in the ground, and it was, puff. And that's all you would hear. And of course, then sound took care of, the big explosions. And I do know that we did have some dynamite that, well, not actually dynamite, but it was stuff like they'll use tonight, July 4th, for the fireworks. And that would make fire, but it was contained. It was in a small area.
I remember the stuff that they used to make smoke and stuff that just.
It was terrible. So unhealthy.
Yeah.
No wonder we're all not have black lung or beige.
I know, between it, everybody smoking on the set, on the sound stages, and
yeah, just everybody smoked in those days. Everybody, not me, but and we all know what poor Michael had to go through. She quit, trying to quit. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, Judy, you're kidding.
No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I just was like, tuned out at times. There was so much going on that it would just be like, there's too.
Mary Ellen we could use her or not to make a difference. So Michael, she was having a bad day, and I had to call her in to. There was a scene in the garden where she and Grandma were planting potatoes, and on the phone she said to me, "I'm just planting potatoes. I don't have anything to say. It's just me. Why do you need me?" It was in the middle of her trying to stop smoking. So I walked her into the garden, and remember, she was kneeling, and so was Grandma, and they were putting the things in, and Grandma had a speech about something, and Michael had nothing to say. And I said to Michael, I said, it's just your presence at that time, how important that was. And I said, years from now, which would be right now, right?
This is years from now. Definitely.
I said to her, someone told me, or I read someplace, that you can't pick a flower without moving the furthest star. And we're all connected in the universe. And that was in a very special connection the Waltons had, affecting in a positive way
Mhm.
thousands of people. I got to show you something. I had been getting residuals like crazy. And Judy, I forgot that there was a mini series that we shot on a lot with David Carradine and Karen Black called Mr. Horn. And Jack Starrett directed it. And so I got cast as this mean old guy, not old guy, but a really mean guy that was saying terrible things to David. And like, you're a murderer and you should get out of town. And all of a sudden I get a residual from, I'm going, wait a minute, was I in that? And then I remember Jack, the director, my first day, he says, oh, and it was it was Midwest Street. It was our Dr. Kurt. What was that, his last name in the show?
Willard?
Yeah, it was that house.
Bauer? Oh, the house okay, so Kurt's house, or Dr. Vance's house that became Mary Ellen and Kurt's house, yeah.
And David was in some other land. And he was in a rocking chair and he had his feet up. So Jack brought me up to meet him and introduce us, and to tell David that this is the guy that's going to be. And he said, oh, you are, huh? This is David. He pulls his gun and shot me. I mean, today you just wouldn't do that, but there were no bullets in it, and that was it. He didn't say anything. He shot me.
So your residuals remind you of every show you did that you've forgotten about.
I know. And I thought, well, for our fans, some of you are actors and but this is what we get. SAG-AFTRA residuals department. Okay, so I'm going to open this. I have no idea what's in it, and I thought it would be fun. Will it be the Waltons? Let's see what's in here. Warner Brothers Pictures. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's the Waltons.
Is it? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So these come every once in a while. Now, I wonder if that's cable or streaming or reruns on CBS.
I don't know that CBS reruns anything in our show anymore. No, I know it's on
internet. Okay.
Internet
free. So it's all streaming.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab this other question here that was from Tamara, who wanted to know about different levels and elevations and how they were created. Like she was asking about in the system when Grandma descends into the root cellar, was that a permanent set? So on the back lot, do you remember the root cellar area by the back porch? Was that? I know you could go down into it, but I don't remember if when they actually shot what was supposed to be it. That was that in there, or was that somewhere else?
No, and I don't remember where that was. I mean, I remember Will. I remember Ellen going first. I think it was Ellen, and Will pushing her and helping her go down in there. Was Eric might have been in that scene.
I think he was down in there smoking one time.
That was it.
Yeah, and he got caught down in there smoking. I got caught smoking in the shed in season 1, I think, the Dust Bowl Cousins. But that was the shed. So I remember that, but I don't know that I ever had a scene where I had to go into the root cellar. So I couldn't remember whether how far you
I
went down,
remember
or whether
really-
it became a cut from, okay, they're heading down the stairs, and then we cut to, an
We
interior.
actually did
place.
get down in there, and I'm sure they were all crushed up.
Oh.
And those doors, they would open like this.
Yeah, like,
Hard
tornado doors or whatever.
Yeah. Next question.
I think those were the ones that we had in here, that I had said that I would see, if I could get an answer from you on some of those. I mean, I get asked a lot of questions that are
Isn't that great?
post-production.
When they stop asking questions.
Yeah.
That's
And I get asked the same question a lot of times because people haven't seen every episode I've done. So some questions I answer multiple times. And what I love is that viewers who have heard me answer certain questions will then give the person the answer because I already answered it. Thank you for joining me for the continuation of my conversation with John Dayton. I will be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons, more of your questions in an Ask Judy, more special guests, and more with John. Thanks for watching.